Lavender vines curling across the page, butterflies dancing in soft pastel skies, and hints of greenery peeking through. May has arrived in my bullet journal, and it's a whole vibe. Let me take you through this month's setup, one peaceful page at a time. Hi, lovely people, I'm Radha, and welcome back to my cozy little journaling space on YouTube, where we turn blank pages into mini works of art and calm. I have previously uploaded my May monthly bullet journal setup on my channel. If you haven't watched it yet, do check it out. Let's turn the page and plan the most peaceful month together. Alright, let's dive right into the weekly setup for May. I'm starting with a clean double page spread for the first week. I'm keeping its structure but soft just the way I like it. I've divided the pages into 7 equal rectangles, one for each day of the week. I love how this format gives each day its own space to breathe while keeping everything minimal and organized. Now for the fun part, the decorating. In the top left corner, I sketched a gentle bouquet of lavender sprigs with soft green leaves cascading around them. I used a mix of muted purples and dusty greens to keep it dreamy and cohesive with the monthly theme. To bring in that whimsical May magic, I added pastel butterflies fluttering across the spread. Some perched near the headers, some might flight, giving the illusion that they have just drifted onto the page. I kept the colors light, pale lilacs, soft pinks, and a touch of powder blue. To tie everything together, I used Crayola Super Tips and Staedtler Fine Liner to outline each box subtly, just enough definition without being too harsh. This layout is both functional and full of charm. I'll be using it to jot down daily tasks, events, and even a tiny gratitude note at the end of each rectangle. I always find that adding these small decorative touches like florals and butterflies makes planning feel less like a chore and more like a peaceful creative ritual. And with week 1 all set and ready, let's glide into week 2. I kept the layout consistent but added a little twist to the decoration. You'll see a fresh bunch of lavender vines curling across the top right corner this time, with butterflies fluttering towards the center of the page like they're chasing spring sunshine. This rhythm of planning week by week gives me just enough structure and also leaves space for life's little surprises. And speaking of surprises, the 7th of May holds a special little space in my heart because it's my birthday. Reflecting on birthdays always makes me think about the passage of time, how subtly life changes without us even realizing it in that moment. Last year, around the same time, life looked very different for me. I just had my C-section and I was staying at my mother's house, healing, adjusting, learning to be a mother in those tender early days. Honestly, I wasn't expecting much for my birthday. I was too caught up in the whirlwind of new beginnings. But life, in its beautiful unpredictability, had other plans. At midnight, my husband showed up, standing there with the cake and balloons in his hand. And it wasn't just the cake or the balloons, it was the way he stood there, a little shy, a little awkward, but with so much love written all over his face. If you know him, you know he's not that loud, a grand gesture type. He's quiet, reserved, the kind of person who feels more than he says. But that night, he stepped out of his comfort zone just to make me smile, and to me, that's love in its purest form. It made me realize how time doesn't just change circumstances, it shapes people, it polishes them, softens their edges, deepens their heart. There's this beautiful old saying that fits perfectly here: time is the wisest counselor of all. And truly it is. With every passing day, we are writing our own character development stories, becoming softer where we were once rigid, braver where we were once resistant. That birthday wasn't about the grand celebration, it was about quiet growth, his, mine, and ours together. And now, every May, I find myself grateful for grateful for not just passing of another year, but for the evolution it brings. So, as I said, the third weekly spread for May with gentle lavender, pastel greens, and fluttering butterflies, I'm carrying the gratitude with me. Because just like these tiny blooms, fragile wings, we are always unfolding into something new, something more beautiful. For week 4, I decided to keep the structure simple again. 7 soft boxes across the spread this time. I let a cascade of green vines drift down from top as if nature itself is leaning into my plans. I added a little more playfulness, pastel butterflies dancing across the margins as if carrying my hopes and dreams on their delicate wings. Before we move into the final week setup, I wanted to share a little bit why I chose lavender and butterflies as a theme for May. May to me feels like a month quite transformation. It's that beautiful bridge between spring and summer, a time when something is growing, blooming, reaching for the sun. Butterflies and lavender felt like perfect symbols for the gentle shift. lavender for its calm, its resilience, and its soothing presence, and butterflies for the beauty of change, the wonder of becoming something new. But that's an even more special reason, um, one that's little closer to my heart. Back in May of 2022, I picked up my very first bullet journal, and the very first theme I ever created was butterflies. That small beginning, those early pages filled with hopes and scribbles, started a journey that's still unfolding today. Coming full circle with this theme feels like a quiet little celebration, a way of honoring where it all began. You might notice I didn't include any hand lettering for this setup. Sometimes simplicity speaks the loudest. For this month, I wanted the gentle illustration, the lavender, the butterflies to tell the story on their own. It's a reminder that not every page needs to be busy or elaborate. Sometimes the quiet spaces are just as beautiful. And so, with a heart full of memories, new beginnings, and quiet blooms, let's set our final week of May. A soft place to pause, to reflect, to breathe before we turn the page towards a new season. For week 5, that sweet little extra slice of May, I created a lighter, more open space, fewer decoration, just a soft scattering of lavender along the top edge, leaving room to breathe, to reflect, and to slow down before June arrives. Each spread holds not just my tasks, appointments, but little pieces of life as it's unfolding, both the planned and the beautifully unexpected ones. Before we move into final flip through, I wanted to pause here on this quiet little page tucked beside a week 5. It holds a message I needed to hear, and maybe you do too. Darling, butterflies are not born with wings. Be patient with your transformation. This quote reminds me the growth, real soul deep growth that takes time. Thank you for planning this peaceful journey through May with me. If you found a little bit of inspiration today, I would love for you to stay a while. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Honeydew Journal, and ring the bell. I'll see you again soon. Until then, keep dreaming, keep blooming.